about this matchup we have here tonight? Two teams that really like to shoot the three.
It's going to be a shootout, Kevin. Something we see more and more of in today's NBA. I think whichever team makes more threes wins this one.
And a look at the starters for San Antonio. Fox and Castle are their guards. Victor Wembanyama is out there with Dick. And it's Vassell in at the three.
Look, Fox can run the show at a high level. He reads things quick.
Pass to DiVincenzo. Oh, here's Edwards. His three-pointer's off the mark. Let's go to the sideline and see what Allie LaForce has dug up for us. Allie, take it away.
I caught up with Coach Chris Finch. Well, no surprise, we started chatting about Victor Wembanyama, and I asked what the plan was there, and Coach said with a shrug, stay on him and hope for the best. What can you do? So still no magic answers for how to slow down a unique threat like Wemby on the floor. Back over to you.
And as always, Allie, great job. Thank you. Here's DiVincenzo following the bucket by the Spurs. And great with Stephon Castle winning the 2025 Rookie of the Year award. The Spurs went back-to-back in that category.
Yeah, of course, Victor Wembanyama winning that same award in 24. Just more confirmation that these Spurs are building something special.
He doesn't get the second one. And joining us now by phone is insider Shams Charania with some news. Shams, give it to us.
Well, the Timberwolves this summer signing extensions to keep their elite front court intact. In bringing back Julius Randle and Naz Reid, they maintain a team strength, one that seems more necessary than ever in the loaded West, guys.
You got it, making the commitment. Okay, Shams, thanks for the report. Pass to Dick. It's stolen by DiVincenzo. Here's Reid. And the rejection by Wembanyama. A sensational block that definitely deserves another look.
And right out of the gate, trying to set the tone defensively, you gotta love that energy.
DiVincenzo passes to Randle. Outside Edwards. And Edwards with the stop.
Well, look, you can't let Edwards get this close to the rim because he will dunk it on you.
Here's Dick. Reid with the rebound.
And really, despite that miss, they've had a solid start offensively.
Inside, here's Edwards. Uses the glass to finish the layup. Edwards got his second bucket tonight.
Good way to start this game. You want to get him rolling as early as possible.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what. If he gets into a good rhythm early, watch out.
Dick, that's good. Timberwolves trail by 4. Now, here's DiVincenzo. 11 points last game. McDaniels on the wing. Trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Spurs have gone 4 of 5 from the field so far. Nice ball movement by San Antonio. And the dunk by Dick.
And there's a nice playmaking element to Castle's game, especially at 6'6".
1:57 left here in the opening quarter. Randle outside. And the rejection by Wembanyama. Fox passes to Dick. And the dunk by Dick.
Oh, taking it to the rack with power.
Hammering down the two-hand slam. And timeout called by Chris Finch. This now will give him a chance to discuss some potential changes. Well, Coach, we know the 2025 season was cut short for Wembanyama due to a blood clot in his right shoulder.
Yeah, it was too bad, Kevin, to see that season cut short. Look, I think it's easy to say Wembanyama would have been the defensive player of the year in 2025. I think he had that one sewed up, but he just couldn't get enough games in to get to that. And he's a guy that can do everything on offense. We're talking probably the next face of the league.
And the Timberwolves making a change here. Clark's checked in. Spurs also with the sub. Barnes, who's checked in for Wembanyama.
And once he gets clear off the screen, there is no stopping him.
No, not when there's a flush waiting to happen.
Well, give credit to the screener there. That's how you help free up your teammates.
So it's the Timberwolves now after the missed three from Dick. Pass to Conley. Here's Berenger. Rebound San Antonio. Dick's got his fourth rebound in this one. To the middle. It's good from Barnes on the assist by Harper.
That's just a great pass. Excellent vision to see the open spot in the defense and lead him to the score.
Conley, the pass to Ingles. Mark against Johnson. Ingles gets to Conley. Launches a three. Ingles can't get it to go. To the inside. It's stolen by Ingles. Fast break, Minnesota. Count the bucket, and he's got a free throw coming up as well. Deciding to change it up. The wingmen, Edwards and McDaniels. Randall and Reed holding down the post spots. And it's DiVincenzo in at the one spot. So that's the Timberwolves 5. Now here's Randall. 8 points for him. Out left to the wing. Clock at 6. Reed gets the bucket.
Such a confident shooter. Reed was ready as soon as the ball got to him.
So Anthony Edwards, the Timberwolves franchise player. GA, how good do you think he can be?
Well, some were ready to anoint him the new face of the league. But if they're to win the franchise's first title, there's another level he's got to reach.
We're now joined by our sideline reporter, Allie LaForce. Allie, it's all yours.
Hi, guys. Well, Big Daddy in their last game against the Celtics just played phenomenal. He dropped 48 points, and he was spectacular on the boards, grabbing a season high in rebounds. He was a force of nature in that game. He made the opposition look utterly helpless.
Great stuff as always, Allie. Thank you. Greg, how impressive was it watching him completely take over?
Unstoppable. They won that game because of his effort and just his overall relentlessness.
Yeah, and we're likely to see them go to him early on. See if he can't replicate that performance.
Reed misses.
And they continue to control the glass.
Johnson finds Fox. Dick. And the dunk by Dick.
Looking to make plays for others. We've seen this from him all night.
Yeah, when there's been an open man, he's found him. You love to see a guy dishing it like this.
Now here's Randall. He's got 10. Reed with a screen on Johnson. It's good, and the San Antonio lead is cut down to just 6 points with the basket from Reed.
And Reed is a very active player. Love seeing him be this aggressive inside.
Dick passes to Fox. To the paint, deflects the pass. Dick against Randall. Dick can't get it to go. And here's Edwards. He'll bring it up for Minnesota. And following this game, they hit the road to challenge the Bucks in Milwaukee. That'll be game 1 of a 4-game road trip. Here's Randall, and he lays it straight in. And now just a 4-point San Antonio lead.
Well, Randall doesn't back down from physical coverage. In fact, he welcomes the challenge.
Here's Dick. It's not going to go for him. So that'll be it for the first half. Fairly even battle underway in this one. Spurs lead by 4. From Target Center, back in a moment.
Halftime is here, and with the San Antonio Spurs in a neck-and-neck game,
I love how they're running their offense. They look sharp.
Yeah, hitting shots at a high clip. They'll need more of the same to pull up.
And the next topic to touch on, a look at which players might be appearing in the upcoming dunk contest.
As a resident dunk contest expert, I can tell you, these are the names you want in the dunk contest, guys. Don't come at me with who isn't making the cut, because this group is all you need.
And that'll do it for halftime. We send you back to Kevin Harlan, who has the second half call.
Second half of basketball upon us. We may be in for an exciting finish based on how close of a game it's been so far. It's been a clinic out there by Big Daddy.
Well, we'll find out if they were able to find an answer for him over the break. He was scoring with ease in that first half.
Yeah, I'd love to see what they drew up in the locker room, because you're right. He's the problem right now.
On the court right now for the Spurs, filling the perimeter spots are Castle and Vassell. Dick is out there with Victor Wembanyama, and it's Fox in at the point guard. Now here's Randall. And one way players look to expand their game, adding counter moves to keep defenders off balance. Greg, what was something you added that really gave defenders pause?
You know, the snatchback pull-up, you know, using your speed to kind of get the defender going downhill, and then you slam on the brakes and just create that separation to then go into attack mode.
The Spurs shooting their first free throws of the game.
And the season numbers for them at the line thus far are really poor, something I'm sure they are making a point of emphasis.
And he can't get the first one.
Well, probably a little draft in the arena tonight. He's the last guy you expect to miss the mark by that much.
Absolutely. Now here's Randall. 12 points for him. Here's Reed, and Reed throws it down.
Showing off his power. Reed gave the dunk everything he had.
And let's go to the sideline. Here's Allen.
Thanks, guys. The Timberwolves have elite shot creation, but it's finding that balance. Anthony Edwards said, "I'm wired to score the ball. I'm going to showcase my game, so it's hard to find that balance of when to pass and when to keep it and try to get going. Sometimes I feel like the right play is me." Kevin, back to you.
Fills it up with the best. All right, Allie, as always, we thank you. That's in, coming off the assist from Edwards. Reed's got 10 points in the game.
Well, Reed has only become more confident as time has gone on at the arc. He will not hesitate. Well, with the way he's scoring right now, they're just going to keep feeding.
Timberwolves trail by 7, and the speed of De'Aaron Fox. Wow. G.A., he gets up the court in a hurry.
And you combine his water bug quickness with the towering size of Wembanyama. It's a 1-2 punch that promises to confound opponents for years to come.
Wembanyama knows better than to just hold the ball. He searches and finds an open guy.
And timeout called by Chris Finch. He made the decision to huddle up with his guys and talk about strategy. Now let's take a moment to check out our race for Rookie of the Year. Here are some of the top young talents in the game. Who will be recognized as the best of the best? You take a look at Dick. Well, he's shown he's a force as we move along in the meat of the season, sitting pretty at that #1 spot now, and it's his race to lose.
And this is just a special, special player. No question he should be favored for the Rookie of the Year award at this point.
Well, no debate here. He's running away with it and looks poised for big things to come.
And Reed throws it down.
And what a night for Reed. We see him do this once in a while. Once he gets rolling, it's hard to hold him back.
And here's the break. There's McDaniels, and finished off by McDaniels.
And that's how you do it, guys. Ball pressure and then get some runouts.
Here's Dick. Here's Wembanyama. And he uses the glass on the layup. Wembanyama's got 5 points now in the quarter.
You have to be aware of Wembanyama on the boards. Really keep a body on it.
Randall from outside. Not going to go that time. Good defense by Wembanyama. Here's Dick. Minnesota with the rebound.
Come on, you can't be doing that. I know these guys want to put on a show, but you can't pass up scoring opportunity.
Now here's Randall. 12 points for him.
Excellent coverage defensively, making it hard on him.
And as if the Spurs stand weren't already stocked with young talent, they moved up from 8th to the #2 spot in the May draft lottery.
An embarrassment of riches, Kevin. And if any organization knows how to organically build through the draft, it's the Spurs. He is really scuffling this quarter offensively. Perhaps a little frustration setting in.
And the dunk by Dick.
And I tell you what, he is one guy you do not stand in the way of when he decides to attack the basket.
Castle against Edwards. Reed with the screen on Castle. Here's Edwards. A beautiful finish inside by Ant.
Well, look, it's tough to keep Edwards out of the lane and tough to stop him once he's in there.
And oh boy, a lot of contact there, but he gets the call and will shoot two. And Greg, when you're dealing with this Timberwolves team fairly deep with size up front,
that can wear you down over the course of a game, and especially in a playoff series, a real strength of this team.
And it's a completely new lineup for Minnesota. The Spurs also changing it up. Harrison Barnes, he's checked in for Wembanyama. Johnson comes in for Devin Vassell. And it's Harper in for Stephon Castle. Now here's Conley. A look at his stats. He averages a bit over 8 points a game.
And they have built their advantage on the scoreboard here by doing all the little things.
Dick can't get it to go.
I mean, that can happen to anyone, but it's ugly every time it does.
Yeah, that's one he'd like to have back. Those are the opportunities you have to convert.
Conley with the three, and so it's San Antonio in control with a 9-point lead to end the quarter. Their lead is where it is because they've gotten good shots. Now let's take a look at our assist of the game presented by State Farm.
And how about the big fella here showing us he's got some point guard skill here with the tremendous setup.
Yeah, well, this is the diversification of positions in this league. Everyone does everything now.
The fourth quarter has arrived. So good to have you with us. They've got Julius Randle. Dillingham is out there with Conley. Then it's Joe Ingles. And it's Shannon in at the 3 spot. So that's the Timberwolves 5. Dick, that's good.
I love that they're continuing to attack despite being up big.
Yeah, they're being absolutely relentless, building this lead in every way possible. Well, his shot selection's been poor. If I were coaching this team, he'd be sitting next to me.
Barnes finds Dick. And the dunk by Dick.
Assisted buckets. Every team wants them. They show you're running effective team offense.
Timberwolves trail by 13. Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
And he'll shoot free throws here. Clearly fouled on that shot that time. The whistle blowing. You know, Stan, even at this late stage of his career, Mike Conley brings tremendous value to the team.
He sure does, Kevin. And look, we know this. No one brings more discipline and professionalism on a nightly basis. He keeps this team poised, he keeps his team organized, and he's a great mentor to the young players on this team.
Right now, let's take a moment here to catch up with Allie LaForce on the sidelines.
Over that last break, I got a chance to hear what Chris Finch said to the team. He was harping on the number of offensive rebounds that they've given up. He told them they have to recommit to the defensive glass. He said, quote, "We're not walking away with the W if we don't box out." A simple message, guys, but an important one.
All right, Allie, thank you so much for that. Randle with the bucket.
You know, they like Randle to be an offensive presence in the paint. They want him to be an option on every possession.
And timeout called by Mitch Johnson. He's very aware of the timing here and the significance of getting things squared away with his team. So both teams changing it up here. Vassell sets a screen for Dick. Reed with the block.
Outstanding defense by Reed there. He understands the importance of protecting the basket.
Back to Edwards. Reed with the screen on Castle. Just 5 on the clock. Edwards. Jumper is off.
Well, I'm surprised that didn't fall for him. We know that's a shot he can hit, and there wasn't much resistance either. Terrific ball movement leading to the basket. You love to see it.
Now Reed rising up and ripping down the two-hand jam.
Well, for someone who is mostly an off guard, Edwards puts up great assistance.
Reed with the rebound.
That's not the type of opportunity he fails to convert very often.
Edwards against Castle.
Well, we know Edwards has an outstanding skill set, but what makes him truly special is his competitive will and ability to handle high-pressure moments.
And Edwards drops them both.
We expect nothing less. He's generally been very good at the line.
Dick against Reed. Reed with the rebound. Timberwolves trail by 7. Now Edwards. Now Reed. Oh, what a play inside.
Well, you can tell Reed's teammates believe in him. They trust that he's going to come up with important points when they need him to.
Reed against Dick. Shot from 16. No good.
Fading away. He makes that shot harder than it needs to be.
Edwards looking it over. Here's Reed. That one is off.
He operates well in traffic, but still, that's just a tough play.
Not that time. It won't go. Here's Minnesota. They've gone on a 10-2 run, not allowing much. Now McDaniel.
Well, McDaniels is a physical player. He doesn't mind getting roughed up a bit while trying to score.
At the line for 2, Jaden McDaniel.
Good on the first, and that shrinks the margin to just 4. So he gets them both.
Well, this is what he does. When you need him to come through, he answers the call.
We can probably expect to see him slow it down now.
Yeah, I think you want to milk your possessions. Yeah, he's in such a great rhythm right now. Makes sense to get him the ball any way you can.
Yeah, when you have a guy playing like he has been recently, he's got to be the first option on every possession.
Here's DiVincenzo. Launches it. The 3 goes down.
Big-time basket at a big-time moment.
Yeah, don't you just love to see a player embrace that kind of pressure?
This isn't a done deal yet, but they have got to move quick.
Yeah, this one isn't over, but they can't afford to waste any time now.
And they commit an intentional foul. It's another one of those so they can get into the penalty.
Honestly, just doing what they have to in order to get the basketball back.
Yeah. No good from 3. And so Chris Finch calls for the timeout. The magnitude at this juncture in the game clearly warranting a timeout. In terms of strategy here, any thoughts?
And they've got plenty of time to get a basket.
No doubt, but they might have to draw up something that the defense isn't expecting.
And it's out of bounds. They say it was last touched by Fox. Randall outside, takes the 3, and that's out of bounds. Minnesota will retain possession. And so it's San Antonio who's straight by with the win. They break the hearts of every fan in the building with a dramatic late victory.
And Kevin, this is the kind of win you have to take a ton of pride in. I mean, they battled with everything they had and came through when the pressure.
Prolific play per usual from MP and leading his side to victory. Your efforts stood out in more than one area. That means something to you, doesn't it?
It does. It gets back to what I liked about this game in the first place as a kid. Nobody bounces a ball or looks up at the hoop and thinks, how can I limit myself? Who would do that? Basketball expands what we think is possible. I like knowing some kid is watching me thinking, he did all that? Now I'm going to do it.
Back to you, Kevin.
All right, Dominic, thanks.
MP.